We are ready to go. Today, I want to focus our discussion on things that can happen, to people when they drink alcohol or when they smoke cigarettes or maybe even smoke marijuana. How does that sound if we focus on something like that today? Okay? All right, good. Let me ask the group, what kinds of things do you guys think can happen when people use drugs or drink alcohol?
Die.
Okay. That's one thing that can definitely happen. I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask you for what are some good things and some not so good things, okay? And I'm going to write down what you guys say again.
I guess like the beliefs.
So dying is going to be over on this side. Do you agree? Okay. How do they end? So yeah, but thank you for jumping in there and telling me that, what you think about that. What about some other reasons? What are some good reasons? What are some good things that can happen?
From what?
From drinking alcohol or smoking cigarettes?
It releases
people
in their mind. In their mind.
Say that again?
I get more friends.
Get more friends.
I'm the it.
Dance a lot.
Releases your inhibitions.
Get more friends, releases. That's a really big word.
I know.
It makes people feel happy.
Yeah.
Some.
I'm writing it all down. Hang on. I'm sorry if you can't read it. Releases inhibitions, makes people happy. Did somebody say?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Boosting confidence.
Boost in confidence. Okay. All right, you guys are coming up with a lot of stuff. Relax. Okay.
Yeah, that's a big one. I think.
All right. Yeah, so you guys know what people either have said or what you've seen. What else? What kind of good things can happen? We've got that. What about some not so good things?
Yeah.
What about some not so good things can happen?
Cigarettes make you stink.
Did you say stay?
Cancer.
So you can get really sick from cigarettes and you can die as well, and it makes you smell bad. Those are things that I think you guys are talking about cigarettes. What other things? What's some not so good things that can happen?
Like makes you do stuff that you don't want to do.
Oh, all right.
Like what?
Like what? Yeah, tell me.
I don't know.
Like, I don't know. Like this.
I know I wanted to do it.
Make you
So you're kind of like out of control.
Yeah, like you don't remember what you're doing, or just not. You're not in your mind.
With what?
Your mind. With drinking and doing other drugs.
So you can also not remember stuff that you did.
Yeah, memory loss. Okay.
You can lose friends.
You can lose friends. Okay. All right.
Grade drop.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Oh, it can affect your schoolwork. Okay.
Bad judgment.
DUIs.
DUI.
ticket.
School. That's what it was.
Yeah, school. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you can get in trouble with the law. You can get in trouble and get tickets and get DUIs, lose friends, school. Okay. So this is a lot of stuff. Thank you for thinking about all this stuff. Now, let me ask you something else. What do people expect that's going to happen when they drink or when they smoke cigarettes or use drugs? Let's talk about drinking. What do people expect is going to happen?
All the good stuff.
Feel great.
And some of the bad.
It's like
and some of that.
you like
you went for a rude rate.
EAT. Something like that.
it's like a mental vacation.
Oh.
Like you disappear kind of from reality.
Okay, they expect that they're going to have a mental vacation.
Yeah, most of the A students know there. You can have that.
So, Celine, what do you mean by that, mental vacation? Tell me a little bit more about that.
It takes you from reality,
Uh-huh.
and
What kind of things might be a part of that reality that you're escaping from or getting away from?
perhaps like misery at home.
Okay, so there could be some.
Yeah, or
Okay, all right.
or low self-esteem, lack of confidence.
Okay. So it makes you feel better. Yeah. When you're taking that mental vacation. All right, what other things, thank you for sharing that, what other things do people expect that's going to happen when they drink or when they get high?
Well, you get clumsy.
You can say good times.
Clumsy. Okay. Sure, anything that people expect, that you're saying that they're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Have a good time. Okay.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
That's what TV shows.
Uh-huh.
You don't see them Budweiser commercials? Man,
Yeah.
all over the Super Bowl, they had Arnold Schwarzenegger,
right.
and they had
Yeah.
Don Cheadle with a llama. Oh,
You know, I'm so glad you mentioned that, Jason, because a lot of people watch that.
that is enough. Oh yeah. After when we finish.
Okay.
Sidebar.
Okay, sidebar, right. So you know what? I really like the fact that you guys have been thinking about the different ways that people feel, and also some of the things that kind of happen to their body. And I want you to think a little bit more. If it's okay, I want to ask you guys to tell me, look at these examples and tell me which are mental. Like, what are things that are just happening in your head, and which things are happening in your body?
Like the mental vacation.
Yeah, that could be a mental vacation. That's kind of a, yeah. All right. I'm going to put an M on things that you think are, the stuff that we're just that we imagine, and then there's stuff that really happens to us, like our body actually feels things. So mental vacation.
So could clumsy be like the body?
I think so. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's going to be physical, okay?
Feeling great
Lose
is
confidence.
mental.
Feeling great, you think is mental, okay?
Could it be both?
Maybe.
Yeah, what about when you feel?
Maybe. Why don't we do this?
How do you feel great physically?
How do you feel great physically?
Yeah, like it's an
It's a
emotion.
feeling.
Because you don't feel
It's a
pain.
feeling.
It's numb.
not like, oh yeah, my arm feels great. It had
Physically
pain
feel
in the-
great. I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you
can
feel
say
great
that.
on the inside. You know what I mean? Like.
Well,
I mean,
I
you're
think
thinking-
more.
That's
Yeah.
a feeling.
Yeah.
Like that's a sense.
So-
That's a feeling.
So Mike feels like it's going to be mental, and you feel like it's going to be physical. It's hard to know. We can have different things. We can think differently about that. But I'm glad you brought that up, because you know what? We're going to figure out what things are in a little bit. Let's keep going.
I think the last one is it could be
I wouldn't
mental
know. You might
because
know.
it's based off of perception.
Right.
And while you could be
Something
thinking you're having a good time, you look stupid to others. So
So
that's why I would consider it mental.
Okay, you would think mental. All right. So you guys have some differences, right? You're not like, oh no, feeling means emotion, and you're saying that people say all the time, like the way they feel affects their physical body. So you guys are seeing it kind of different. It's hard sometimes to see what's mental and what's physical, right? What we wanted to look at in terms of physical is what is a drug effect. So what do you think that means, drug effect? I know it's kind of like a different way to think about the word
A drug
drug.
effect is the way your body responds to a drug, or you respond to a drug.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it, how your body reacts or responds. So it's the kinds of things that happen to you that you can't help because your body's is going through some changes, right? So feeling clumsy is kind of like a physical thing, right? What we call that is pure drug effect, okay? That's the pure drug effect. That's not what's up here. Those are two different things. We're going to talk about why people get those confused sometimes.
Hold on, wait, what's the two different things again?
Pure drug effect.
What is that?
What do you think that drug effect is? Tell me what you think.
What he said.
Whatever he said, I'll tell you. He said it's the way that drugs affect your body, how they mess with your body.
Okay.
So,
Is that true?
What are-
Why you tell me?
so Jason and Wally, I want you guys to help me out here. Tell me, what are some examples of pure drug effect? If it's messing with your body, what are some things that you might have heard or seen on TV or maybe in movies or stuff like that? Can you think of something?
Well, for instance, I seen Cialis commercials and stuff like that. And the pure drug effect is, you last long, they say.
Well, and you know what? There's a lot of commercials out there for lots of different drugs. But let's talk about alcohol, for example. Let's make that a little bit easier. What do you guys think? What are some pure drug effects of alcohol?
drunk driving,
Yeah.
but you can't
What-
drive as well. Some
Why
people
is
say they
that?
can drive better.
Okay.
That's true.
I
Some
heard,
people
I
say
heard
you
it
can.
impairs,
Okay.
it impairs or makes you not, like your senses not all
Wow.
function.
Like we're impaired. Okay. Well, that's what I think you're kind of talking about that, Eric,
Yes.
right? That's great. I'm glad you guys are kind of thinking along the same lines here. What do you mean? What kinds of impairment? So what kinds of
I hear your vision gets blurry.
Okay.
I have an uncle whose eyes are like gone.
He got cataract.
Cataracts, right? Glaucoma.
Okay.
So something's wrong with his eyes. All I know is look at him.
Okay. So when you're drinking though, and we don't know what's going on there, but I like the way that you started thinking here about driving, right? Because you use so many skills to drive.
Yeah.
You use your motor skills, your balance, your vision, and so you're right. That's what it is. So now, Jason, does that make a little more sense to you about pure drug effect? Things that affect, being physically affected.
Say yes, and I'll let you know if it's a no later.
Well, let's talk about it. I really want to make sure you're clear on this.
I think I believe I am. So like
So you tell me what you
the
think
drug
it is.
effect
Mhm.
and the pure drugs, like again, like we said, was just and like what I was saying was just impairing your vision and other things. So what the drug actually does to your body physically.
There you go. So do you got it? Yeah, that's a pure drug effect.
Very good,
Right?
Jason.
High five.
Oh,
I
man. I like that. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Well, you know what? Here's the deal. It's hard to know sometimes when something is a pure drug effect, like it's just your body having a reaction. Vomiting is one of those pure drug effects. Because sometimes when people drink too much, they vomit. And they can't help that. They're going to get sick. Maybe getting a headache. That's another effect that sometimes some people might feel. All right. Well, it's hard to know what it is, though, because feeling great is not vomiting. So what's going on with that? That could be physical. The cool thing is scientists have figured out how to tell if something is mental or physical. Do you guys want to hear about this experiment? All right, I'm going to tell you about an experiment that we did in a college, and it's like this. We need to know why people are drinking. Is it because they think that alcohol is going to do these kinds of things? Or is it because it really does do those kinds of things? I don't know. So the way we figured it out is we set up this lab in a college where adults over the age of 21 could come and participate in a study, okay? So here's what it is. It looks just like a bar. So it has lights, there's music, there's a bartender, bar stools, and people come in with friends, and they come in to find out whether or not they're going to drink or not drink that day. With me so far?
Okay.
All right, so this is the scene. We have this bar lab. And there are 3 times that this group of people can, will come in and participate. So now I want you guys to look at your handout. It's got a big word on it. It's got purple. Balanced placebo design. So now I'm going to ask you guys, what is a placebo? Who knows what a placebo is? Who can tell me that?
It's like a fake drug.
Yeah, like a fake drug.
That's a fish.
That you just, you know what? I've heard that before. People think it might be fish. People think it might be food or something. But Mike, you're right. It's like a fake drug. Okay, so sometimes when doctors want to see how things might work, they might give some people the medicine, and some people will get another kind of thing that's not medicine, maybe like a sugar pill kind of a thing, right? To see if people are feeling better with it. So that's what a placebo is. Okay, guys? Any questions more about balanced placebo design? All right, well, let's go through it. This is actually the experiment. So here's the way it works. Bob and his friends, they come into the bar, okay? And they sit down and they know they're going to be there for a few hours. They're getting a gift card too, like you guys or something. They're getting some money to help out with this study. So what happens is Bob and his friends, they go to the bar, they sit down, and they're told, you're going to get alcohol today, and they get alcohol. Right? Just sounds like a regular bar. Sounds like a regular time going out. What do you think? What's the room like after a few hours?
Loud.
loud. How's Bob feeling? What's Bob like?
Confident.
She says he believes.
It's true. He's actually feeling kind of happy, kind of loose. The room's kind of loud. There's, friends. They're talking. They're having a good time. They're having a good time. Okay. Now, on the second time, that's the first situation. We're going to go through each of these situations except the last one. We won't go through that one. But the first three are really important. So let's see if you guys have any questions and you don't get what's going on, just stop me. The second day, they come in, Bob and his friends, and they're told, you guys are not going to get alcohol today, all right? Today's the day of no alcohol. Just going to have Coke or something else. And Bob's like, well, fine. I'm still getting the gift card. I'm cool. I'm with my friend. But guess what happens? What can you tell me what happens? They get alcohol. I know. They're told they're not going to get alcohol, and then they get alcohol. Now what? What do you think Bob is like now after a few hours?
Did he drink?
He's told that he's not going to get alcohol. But guess what? He's been getting alcohol. So he's not expecting alcohol, right? He's just like, okay, I'm having Coke. He doesn't know that he was tricked. And we can do that. Scientists have a way to trick you so that you don't smell the alcohol or you don't taste it. We can mask it. We can hide it in the drink. Have you guys heard of that? Like people getting faked out, maybe thinking that they're going to be drinking a soda or something, or maybe a punch, but there actually is alcohol in the punch? It's a really good question.
Like, what do you put in it?
I'm curious.
So there are ways that you can cover it. You can actually put more flavor of sugar or something that covers the flavor, but you're still getting some alcohol. Yeah. Okay, so now what's going on? So what's going on with Bob? He doesn't think he's drinking. He doesn't expect he's drinking any alcohol, but he is drinking alcohol.
And so what can happen to him?
Well, what is he feeling? What do you think he's feeling? After a few hours, he's thinking, I'm not drinking. What's he feeling?
I think he feels kind of strange.
He's feeling kind of strange is right. Because he's been drinking alcohol, but he's not expecting it. He doesn't know what's going on. So he could be feeling a little strange. What's the room like? This time, you were saying like last time, the room is kind of friendly and...
It can be busy, swimming,
squirming.
No, that's
swarming. Oh. Confusing. Yeah, that's true. I like that too, because it makes like everybody's kind of in the same boat as Bob. Everybody's kind of confused too. You're right. So the room's kind of quiet, actually. They're, and Bob's confused. He's feeling, he gets up to go to the bathroom and he kind of trips a little bit. What does he think?
I think paranoia.
Somebody slipped or something?
Yeah.
Might have slipped or paranoia, like what's going on? Yeah, what's
right.
Actually, he thinks, God, I'm really clumsy. So you guys, what is going on with Bob? If he doesn't think he's drinking alcohol, but he's feeling the effects of alcohol, what's happening? What is he actually experiencing? What did we talk about? What's called that?
Drug effect.
That's right. He's exactly feeling the pure drug effect. He's just feeling the effect because he doesn't have any expectations, right? He's not really happy too because he's like, what's going on? I'm feeling sick. Maybe I'm coming down with something, right? He doesn't know what's going on. Okay, so now it gets really interesting. Let's look at the third situation, and this is where we talk about placebo. So now Bob goes in with his friends. He's back at the bar again the next time, and he's told, okay, Bob, everybody, today you're going to get some drinks, alcohol again. So he's expecting alcohol. But what happens? He doesn't get any alcohol. He gets cheated. Yeah. Can you think of where this might happen? Sometimes in a restaurant, when you go out and they get your order wrong, that kind of a thing. So it's like that. So this time he's expecting alcohol, but he doesn't get any. Do you have any questions about that?
No, I was just, no.
Okay, so the way that we do that is we can give drinks, we can make them taste like alcohol by maybe putting a little alcohol on the rim, dipping that in a flavor or squirting a little bit over the top so they get the scent, they get the smell of alcohol, and maybe they think they're drinking it, but they're really not drinking alcohol at all. Right, so now that's the placebo. Right, Mike? He's getting faked out, or cheated, as you said, Eric. So what's going on? How does Bob react now? He thinks he's drinking alcohol, he's been there for a few hours. What's he acting like?
Normal? Like, why ain't I drunk?
I think just because of the fact that he's expecting alcohol, it becomes a dependency factor. So the fact that he thinks he's drinking it, he may become more comfortable with his surroundings and people around him simply because he feels like the alcohol is affecting him little to no. It's not alcohol, but.
Okay. So he's feeling more comfortable because of what he's expecting.
Right.
He's expecting to feel pretty good. And in fact, guess what? Bob and his friends, they act the same way that they did the first time.
With alcohol?
They act the same way. What's going on? Why is Bob acting the same way?
He's psyching himself out.
Right.
The bodies think they're drunk.
Their bodies think they're drunk. Yeah, his mind is actually playing tricks, right? He's like, oh, I must be drinking, so I'm happy. So guess what? We tell Bob and his friends, hey, you guys, you know what? There's no alcohol in your drinks. There's none at all. You haven't been drinking. So all of a sudden, what happened? You know what? They actually don't even they feel kind of silly because they were pretending to be drunk. Uh-oh. So what happened? What happened here? What do you think Bob learned from this experience? What's going on with him? What do you think he learned?
Maybe he used alcohol to let him do things he normally wouldn't.
Oh, that's interesting. Tell me what you think. How might that work? Tell me a little bit more about that.
So if the first time with alcohol, Bob and his friends were acting loud and feeling good and doing all these things because of alcohol, and then the second time they were giving fake alcohol, still acting like he had a good time and feeling good and doing all these crazy things, then that may be a matter of like we're saying, his mind playing tricks on him.
Okay.
So he was enacting what he thought alcohol allows him to do.
Yeah.
Or maybe he came to the realization that he don't need alcohol to act the way he was when he was drinking.
Oh, that's interesting. All right, so you guys brought up two important points. Let me work on this one first. So he might do things that he wouldn't normally do because he thinks he's drinking alcohol. So we're going back to, I'm feeling pretty happy when I have alcohol. So if I think I'm going to have alcohol, I'm going to be happy again. I'm going to act like that. I'm going to behave that way. And then what you were saying is, wow, but maybe I don't need to do that and I can still feel happy because I was feeling pretty happy and I wasn't drinking anything. So you guys, what this experiment kind of helps us think about is what we think, what we believe affects how we behave, how we might act. And we know that the more positive feelings that people have about alcohol, the more likely they are to drink. So here's a situation that actually happened. I have a friend in college, and he decided to throw a big party at at his house or something, like a frat house kind of a thing. They had a big party, and he brought some kegs in, and he was a psychology, he was studying, he was in college and doing some classes like this. And so what he did is he took all the alcohol out of the kegs, of the bottles and things, and he exchanged it for no alcohol, like the non-alcoholic stuff, okay? And then he put it out there for the party. He put it out there, and his friends came and started drinking, college kids, they were drinking, and they were getting really loud, and they were having this really great time. And then he stopped and he said, hey, you guys, guess what? There's no alcohol in your drink. You're not drinking alcohol at all. What do you think they were like? Yes, I always get that. People say they were probably really mad at him, like, what are you doing? But you know what? They sobered up really quick. So what does that tell us? What does that tell us about what people think about alcohol?
expectation that it's supposed to do something to them.
Right, that's right. So our beliefs, yep, our beliefs can really influence how we behave and what we think about something. What do you guys think? Anybody else? What do you think is the most important thing to remember about this, about today's session?
The drug effect.
Okay, tell me about that, Jason. What do you mean?
I don't know. I just want to say it.
The effect on the body and the effect on the mind can be two different things.
Okay.
And that sometimes you might be, perpetrating on yourself.
And that's a really good point, because sometimes it's not other people what they're telling us, it's what we're telling ourselves. That's what you're saying, putting thoughts in our head. So that's right, it's really important to understand that what we believe can influence our behavior. And what we think might make us sociable is really just up here, or talkative. It's really all up here. Because we talked about drug effect. Jason, thank you for bringing that up again. That's really important. That's the real thing that happens to our body versus what we think is going to happen. Anybody else?
What did the question, you said, what did we learn?
Yeah. Or what did you take away from this?
Based on project choice and the idea of REN, is that you guys try and just educate them. And I think that it's important to educate them and make sure that their knowledge is up to par, because regardless of whether you think or you know alcohol will be there, if you know the effects of it, then it's not going to change your mind. It's not going to change the way you think. Therefore, whether it's there or not, you're going to be the same person, and it'll help them better in making the choice on whether they want to take part or decline.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you very much for that's a good summary too of what we might all learn from this. And also, you guys, thinking about some of these good and not so good examples and some of the expectations might make you think a little differently about whether or not those things are physical or mental. Because now we know because we trick some college kids to find that out. All right, thanks very much.